All right, it's Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with Dante Kirkman, who will be making his ring return for his second fight out in Oakland, California. And Dante, just to jump off real quick, for a lot of people who don't know, right? You went pretty well in the amateurs, and you went to compete for the Olympics. And if I'm not mistaken, were you an Olympic alternate? Did you get to the Olympic trials? Like, how did your whole amateur background go right before you turned pro?
So I fought in the Olympic trials. I wasn't an alternate. I beat the national Golden Gloves champion and the number two seed to make it to the semifinals, getting a bronze in the Olympic trials. And then after my journey ended there is when I turned pro.
You kind of say that like, I just got a bronze, in the Olympic, trials. But, for a lot of times people hear, gold, silver, bronze, like in the Olympics, right? So with your amateur background, what's some of the accomplishments, like some of the nationals, and what's some of the, places you competed at?
Well, had a little under like 50 amateur fights, which no, not that much, but like most of them were at national tournaments. I've been ranked top 10 in the US in multiple weight classes for a bit now. Started going to like tournaments when I was like 16 and got ranked at 108 pounds and then kept ranking up like after that.
I know, you went against, and it might be a fight in the future, right? This is like way early, right? But you and Keyshawn Davis's brother, right? Keon Davis, who went on and went to win, I think, that tournament. But you're pro. He's probably gonna go pro. Like, do you see, yourself in the future going against Keon a couple more times, in the pros?
I mean, I feel like everybody in like my Olympic trials weight class. I mean, it's kind of like a graduating class for like
Hmm.
Olympic trials. Everybody goes on and then in 5 years are top contenders. I mean, like if you look at the people top contenders now, they probably were top amateurs 4, 8 years ago. So I mean, if he's in my weight class, I'll probably end up seeing him at some point. But I congratulations to him on winning the Olympic trials, and I hope he has a great career.
What made you go, like, you know what? I'm not gonna do another set of amateurs to go for like trying to get to the next set of boxing Olympics. I'm going pro. I want to knock some heads. I want to make some money. I want to take the headgear off. What was the reason for that?
Well, for me, so I'm 22 right now, and I just really didn't want to stick around another 4 years. And starting boxing at 10 years old, it was always like my goal to be one of the best of all time and as a pro. So that was really like my main goal. So that's really just starting like that new journey.
Most times people get their internships only in boxing, like just in the gym. But you're a little different. Like you got to do internship with USA Boxing, right? Makes sense, right? Because you went through want to go to Olympics. But I heard a little bit something like Mayweather Promotions. Like you did some internship with that, or like how did that work out?
Yeah, so I interned with Mayweather Promotions. I believe it was summer 2021. And then after that too. And it was a great experience. It taught me a lot, just like about the business of boxing and like just getting to like see how these like big events that I got to like watch growing up. I mean, obviously watching like Floyd as a kid and seeing these like giant grand events and then actually being behind the scenes, being able to be a part of media days, just walking around, seeing fighters warm up, and then actually being able to like photograph and capture like social media content ringside at these events was a great experience, both for the business, but also I felt like it helped me a lot in my boxing too, getting able to see like great fighters like up close. Like I think my favorite fight was probably between Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. With like seeing Mario Barrios train with like this was back when he was with Virgil Hunter and um like seeing him and then seeing him translate it into the ring and then seeing Tank up close too. I think was a great experience.
When you went through all of that, and you saw like the business and the boxing and stuff like the glamours, the glitz, and all the media and stuff like that. I'm sure you came across, had some conversations like with some people. I mean, did you get a chance to talk to Floyd or Tank or any of these guys, and did they give any, any advice, anything kind of useful?
Well, I really just got to like interview them more for like business stuff. Nothing that I could really use like personally. I will say somebody that I like got to talk to a lot while I was there was probably Rolly. Rolly was really cool. And he gave like some really cool advice and was just overall a great guy.
I know it's, you got some good sauce, you know what I mean? You might not have leak all the secrets out there, but what's one thing that, Rolly might have told you? Because Rolly's a down-to-earth guy, you know?
I think for me, one of the things I noticed with Rolly was how he treats people. He treats people very well. Like he takes care of the people around him. And also like made sure that like he kind of like trusted me, like you got to make sure you do what you can do to like market and promote yourself. And like promoters are obviously gonna help you out too, but it's also kind of on the fighter.
hmm Do you feel based off your personality, right? I know you're just entering the game, do you see yourself as like an Ali, Floyd Mayweather us, or maybe like an Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, or you just the world gotta see?
I definitely think I'm more of like I won't say like I'm like quiet. I'm just not like super into like starting beefs or calling people out. I'm more business like and like examples like if it comes to a fight, I don't really like I don't care who it is. Like I'll fight anybody. It's just if the business makes sense, just because that's kind of how I grew up. And like I look to bring like an educated like sense into boxing. So I would say definitely like kind of like a mix between like Floyd and like probably like Andre Ward too.
It's a hell of a mix right there. You know what I mean? Like, that might be, the headline. Well, with that all being said, I know that you got a fight coming up.
Mhm.
You're a middleweight. You're fighting the Bay Area. It's going to be, a cross promotion, I think, with Devin Haney Promotions. Amari Jones is going to be headlining. Um, and I know Amari, throughout the years, he's worked with a lot of talented guys and sparred with a lot of guys. And so seeing him headline and kind of start doing these things, it makes me ask you, in the ring, I've seen you probably been in the top rank gym and been around. Who's some of the fighters that you worked with, sparred against, kind of got some good rounds with?
Well, I sparred Amari. Amari's really good. He's also just a great guy. Sparred Rolly was good. Emiliano Vargas. I went to Germany for a bit and sparred like a lot of pros over there. Not like very big in the US though. Charlie Sheehy has been good work. Uh, I feel like that's all I can remember off the top of my head. And then also like just whenever I go to the gyms in Vegas, every gym in Vegas has like a lot of work. It's just a lot of names I can't remember. But yeah, shout out to like pound for pound gym out in Vegas. That's probably my favorite to go to.
Oh yeah, with like Bob Santos and everyone over there.
Yeah.
So for the people who haven't seen you fight, right? And I know you're developing a pro style. This is your second fight coming up.
Mhm.
What would you describe your style and like some of the influences that you've gotten in your boxing career so far?
Well, so my style in the amateurs was very, very aggressive, a lot of output. My trainer, Eddie Croft, he was a former pro. I think he had, I forget how many fights, somewhere in the like 20 to 30s, but um, he's like a very like pro style coach. And in the amateurs, we kind of had to dumb it down and just get like really aggressive. So my pro style, like you said, we're still developing, but it's um, a lot more like calculated. And my biggest influences, obviously growing up in the Bay Area, Andre Ward is always one of those people. And keeping like an educated mind to the sport and making sure you keep the fundamentals tight while also not getting hit. I would say probably my biggest influences are like I love Terrence Crawford as far as like how he fights, Andre Ward, and then some old school people. Like I like Sugar Ray Robinson as well.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna do some hot takes, right? Because it's always good to talk to a boxer about fights,
Yeah.
right? So, probably the biggest fight that's probably happening on paper right now that's been out is Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, right? The
Mhm.
guy from New York getting an opportunity to fight one of the pound for pound guys. Does Edgar have a chance? Does he have a chance to really dethrone Canelo?
I mean, I mean, I wouldn't bet on it. I really think Canelo's got it. I mean, there's always like a puncher's chance. I mean, Edgar's a pretty big guy, but I mean, typically when if you're just relying on I'm gonna overpower this dude, I don't think that's really what you want. Like, so I think Canelo's got it. And I mean, like Bivol, he was like big and strong, but Bivol could like really box too. So, um, I don't think Berlanga could do that.
You think it's a reach that some people feel because it's the size difference, right? That
Mhm.
Terrence Crawford, a guy who just made his essentially debut at 154, captured a title, very competitive fight against Majimov, which we'll see later on if that
Yeah.
win ages very well. Can he go to 168 and fight, beat a Canelo Alvarez?
I mean, I might be a little biased because I just said I love Terrence Crawford, but I think it'd definitely be like a challenge. I think he's capable of winning. I don't think he'd knock Canelo out. And I think his last performance, I still liked his performance in that fight. Um, and like there's a lot of factors like Madrimov is a lot better than I think people realize. And their introduction to him was through Terrence Crawford, really, for a lot of people. So I think the more time like Madrimov fights other people, like I don't know if you see like Madrimov, Fundora, or whoever that it is, people will realize that Crawford was really in there with somebody who's actually really good. Um, but going back to your question, I would say it's it'd be a tough fight, but I think Crawford is capable of pulling it off.
Nice, nice. Well, look, not taking too much of your time. What do you know about your opponent that for people who's out in the Bay Area, it's going to be rolling up on August 31st, right? And they're going to be showing out, wanting to see some action, the future of the sport of boxing. What do you know about your opponent? What can they expect when they roll up on the scene?
Ooh, well, I saw my opponent fight probably in like February, and he fought somebody that I've sparred quite a few times. So, I mean, it's really just I like just look forward to like me putting on a show. I look forward to showcasing what me and my team have done. I mean, I've got a great team behind me. Eddie and Casey Croft. Casey is the right hand of Victor Conti at Snack, and she's like been a game changer to like my conditioning and just overall like performance. She came into the scene like kind of at the end of my amateur career, and I went on a lot. I got wins after that. So she's like a big part of the team, and so her and Eddie together, um I really look forward to being able to showcase what I mean they've done both for my mind and body.
Well, for everyone that be rolling up, it's going to be August 31st at the Marriott on Broadway in Oakland, California. It's going to be promoted by Uppercut Boxing Promotions, One Lion Dance Promotion, and Devin Haney's Promotions in the Bay Area. My last question before I let you go, you know, Devin's probably going to roll up. Bill
Mhm.
Haney's going to roll up. I know that they're there to support Amari and things like that. But you looking to make a statement, in front of one of the big superstars that'll be rolling in there and have a conversation with them later on and, kind of pat yourself after the fight.
I mean, I'm always gonna make a statement in every fight. So, I mean, I don't know what bout I am. Hopefully, they're there to see it, but I definitely think my skills will pay for themselves. And if they don't find out now, they'll learn about me later. So, I definitely hope everybody on the card has great fights. Looking forward to see what Amari does, and I'm sure we'll all be happy with our performances.
Awesome. Where can they follow you on social media if they want to get a little bit more Dante?
On all social medias, just at Dante Kirkman. That's DanteKirkman.